Diddly-o, diddle up and down, diddly-o, diddle up and down, diddly-o, diddle up and down, diddly-o, diddle lay down, diddly-o, diddle up and down, diddly-o, diddle up and down, diddly-o, diddle up and down.
Hey, next project. We are going to be preparing for my first stir plate. I'm too cheap to buy one, so here's going to be how I make one. Gathering up some tools, and this may be a long-term video segment, so expect maybe more facial hair. But here's what I got so far. From my fermentation chamber recent upgrade, I now still have a computer fan which I had delegated to my DIY projects. It's from an old computer. As well, I went out to a local dollar store. See the nifty little $2 sign right here? And I got this fancy little decorative box. People use them for painting. I don't know why you would. Not into that. But this is going to be, hopefully, where I will be mounting my fan. So this guy will be going like that, up through here, into the middle. And as well, I'm going to be taking apart a hard drive to try to get the rare earth magnet from it. Still haven't got my stir bar. Not too worried about that. I want to get the build done, so when I can buy the stir bar, it'll be ready to go. So bear with me. The plan, and I might show you a video as I'm going, is to drill a small hole directly in the middle of this, mount this to the bottom of this box, debating on screws, but I'm thinking about just crazy gluing it directly in the place where I want it to be. I don't know if you can notice, but there's a little lip here, and that should give enough clearance for the actual bar, right? Or for the actual magnet to the bottom of the thing. So with the magnet mounted in the center of this guy here, hopefully I'll just do it right along the aces there. And a hole right directly in the middle of here. There won't be any impedance of a magnet. So wish me luck. As well, I have an idea for a potentiometer. That's just going to allow me to ramp up and down the voltage on this sucker and hopefully control speed. But I don't know if that's going to work. So you may see a work in progress here in this video, which is the way I roll. Anyways, wish me luck. Let's see how it goes. Watch for the finger. Okay. Scavenged a couple computers. And I found a hard drive and get out fairly easily. Some videos online, if you look at them, they'll say that most of the screws on these hard drives were the star type head. This held true for one, but the rest were little Phillips. So depending on your hard drive, well, you can't see with my big fingers, it may be different. This guy had screws all on the edge, and there was one little sticker here that said, if seal is broken, warranty is void. I'm cannibalizing this hard drive, so that's not an issue. So let's see if the top comes off this now. Probably does. Sounds like it. And pop. Something just fell. So what we're looking for is underneath this plate here. This particular one is going to be a couple just Phillips head screws. So let's go ahead and do that, I guess. Where I have you guys here. I lost my... And second that. Continue after I get it taken apart. So as I'll show you, This particular hard drive is a little bit older. One Phillips head screwdriver. There's a magnet underneath this. We'll pop this little sucker off here. Don't really care if I beat it up. I don't think there's a screw or anything involved. So that'll come off. And then there's the same sort of little apparatus here. Screw on the bottom. Okay. So I will get back to you when I'm ready for to pop the magnets. All right. Okay. Got it all apart. As I said in the last video, this was the top view of that bracket you seen on the hard drive, which is right here. The hardest part I had, it came apart with just two little screws. They're Phillips, and well, the magnets are very strong. The bit kept on getting hauled out of my screwdriver. This was the top view. This was the top one. Two screws came out. That came out easy. I had to break a little clip here. I'm sure there's a little tool to get that off, but this wasn't to be salvaged, so I just bent that up. And the bottom one just slid out fairly easily, a little bit harder than the first. Now, if you can believe some of the online forums and whatever, these little things come off pretty easily. They say use channel locks. I'll be honest, I tried it a little while ago and my channel locks kept on coming apart. So I'm going to try my trusty vice grips. So the whole idea is to get your bottom lip just on the bracket and grab the top of the magnet with it, and hopefully it should pop off. I always try to be as honest as I can, so hopefully there won't be too much fooling around with this. You can see how this really wants to take a hold of my metal tool. So let's see if this is going to work. Now this might go flying, so watch out. Hang on, might be harder than I thought. Most everything is. So what's happening here? Let's see. Gotta make sure I am just on the magnet. I may be trying to rip metal apart here. Alright, so gonna let my vice grips come out a little bit so I don't have to push so hard. And try again. I don't think this is going to work the way I want, guys. No. Alright, when I figure this out, I'll come back and give you an update. Alright. Alright, welcome back to the jungle. What I ended up doing, I ended up putting that little one of the brackets in a vise, and I just grabbed a hammer. Now, I happen to have a cold chisel, which this is very large for the job in question, but it works fine. I don't know if it was my particular magnet or whatever, but it's fragile. It actually came off good. There was some sort of glue or something on the back of my magnet, which made it a little bit more difficult to get off, I guess. But this is the starts of what we need. I'm going to try to mount this on top of the fan, get it centered, then we'll figure out our hole in the box, and then I have an idea for my potentiometer. I don't know if it's going to work, but this will keep going. Alright, wardrobe change. So, after a little break, I started back out. So where we stand, got our magnet, got our fan. Right now I have this powered by, which may change, USB cord. Probably seen in my last video. It's just basically simple. You cut off the blue wire or whatever extra wire it is and use a red and black. Splice it into the red and black in your USB cord, which usually you have a broken one around. This was a broken one. Now it's working again for what I needed. But anyways, you can power this by USB block if you want. So this will work. I just probably will be changing it because I need to control speed, right? But here is the hard drive magnet. And what I've been doing, because it's kind of a difficult little thing to measure, is I've been just adjusting where this sits on the fan. And plugging it in, seeing how much shaking there is, because it is an odd shaped magnet that you get from the hard drive. So I'm looking for a best case scenario for a smaller,
Dad,
like for a...
to?
Making a video.
What were you talking to?
Hang on,
Dad?
she wants to be in the video. One second, you want to see?
Yeah, that's on my tablet.
Yeah, well, we'll get your tablet in a second. Don't
Can
leave it down.
I sit down on the counter?
No, get your foot off that.
Aww, I need my tablet.
Yeah.
Daddy, I need my tablet.
Why wouldn't it be?
Because you got to pick up the kids.
That's
Daddy.
fine. Yeah, all right.
You sure?
Yeah.
I can cancel it.
No. Don't cancel it.
You sure?
I'm positive. I said again and again and again. Yeah. Anyway, won't edit that. So, like I said, trial and error, plugged it in, and I found a spot where it's doing very little shaking. So what I did is I actually took a utility knife. You can use whatever knife you have. And I just, hopefully I can get this on camera. You see those lines there on that? I scored around where this best case scenario center was. This is probably where it's going to end up staying. I'm going to grab a hot glue gun, a couple dabs of glue on the back of this thingamabobber, put it on there, center it with my fingers, get it totally center, double check it. That'll probably be done for that section of it. For this fan, you can see there's a raised little section in the middle before the propellers along the edges. So that I measured from mine is a little bit more than an inch. So I'm going to go down and find a spade bit, and moving along, I found an exact center for regards to my little hobby box I got here, like I said, from the Dollarama. What I did was I got a straight edge, drew a line from corner to corner, the intersecting point in the middle. That is the exact center of the box. So with that 1-inch spade bit, I'm going to drill a hole to leave an opening for that raised center where the magnet is, to get it as close as possible to whatever vessel is going to be holding my starters. And Bob's your uncle. Debating on mounting. Like I said, I'm going to try glue. I have epoxy I have downstairs. Whatever I end up using, I'll let you know in the next part of the video. But that's going to be mounted to the inside of this. To get through this very, very thin material, all I used was just a pointy awl. If you have a set of darts, anything like that, I just worked it through at the exact center, made sure I took my time. And all my measurements for my fan will be taken from this point on the inside of the box. So I'll just measure this, add half to either side of that circle, and make my marks, and that should give me a nice center on the box, which doesn't really matter, but it just gives you more space for whatever vessel you decide to lay on top of this. So I like to have it in the center in case I want to do like a 2-liter starter, which I probably will, knowing me. But that's where I sit. Still looking for that salvaged potentiometer replacement. I will let you know if I can find it here. If not, I may just hardwire this sucker and let it go as is. Chat with you soon. Watch for the finger.